What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Mufasa Sports Club. You already know the drill, guys. Please continue to share the videos, continue to like them, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Get your friends and family to come and join the community, and let's continue to push this momentum and growing the channel. NBA is back. We're gonna be debriefing the first 4 days of the season. And the games that have happened, and what are the early conclusions that we could have from some of these teams, and what perspectives can we draw from there. We're also gonna be talking about what's happening in the news within the league, and what's really putting this league in turmoil right now, which is obviously the gambling scandals that allegedly are happening. We're going to start with that since it's one of the hottest topics right now in the NBA sphere, with the arrest of NBA player Terry Rozier from the Miami Heat, Chauncey Billups, head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, and coach Damon Jones, who was also arrested, former Lakers coach, assistant coach from the Los Angeles Lakers, and it's been some very interesting developments in this saga, and obviously all these people have been released on bond, and they innocent until proven guilty. It's not a good look when the FBI comes knock at your door. Usually when they do, they have very solid evidence. It's not every single scandal also that requires or warrants the presence of the director of the FBI himself at the press conference. So obviously, those are high profile people, so it would require the attention of the high authorities in this matter, because it brings publicity on the agency as well. But like I said, all of these people are planning to fight their case in court, and they obviously innocent until proven guilty. But it's not a good look on the NBA. It's not a good look on Commissioner Adam Silver, who I think is probably having some long nights right now trying to figure this whole thing out. Obviously, we had in the past Deontay, I believe, Porter, who was caught in these type of situations with gambling also, and was immediately cut from the league. Terry Rozier and coach Chauncey Billups were immediately put on leave by the NBA right after the allegations came out. So we're gonna be following that and see what's gonna happen with this case. But it's obviously not a good look on the league and the integrity of the game when you have active players or active head coaches that are involved in these kind of situations. I'm sure the league is probably going to take additional measures to avoid things of that nature to happen in the future, which is really tough to deal with, especially in this world where these players have so many accesses to platforms to gamble or get other people to gamble for themselves, and they could eventually get trapped in situations that they can't really handle on the long run. A crime family from New York is also allegedly involved in this scandal. So it's a tough situation for these people, for these players and their families, and we're gonna respect the principle of being innocent until proven guilty. Not gonna comment furthermore on it until the trials happen, and then we'll see what happens from there. Back to playing basketball. Like I said, the NBA is back. There's been a couple of very good games, great games from the opening night to up until tonight, where I was actually at one of the games, which was the 76ers, my team, playing the Charlotte Hornets and winning that game, which allowed them to get to a 2-0 record after beating the Boston Celtics in the first game of the season. It was an amazing game, great atmosphere in Philadelphia. The Sixers winning 125 to 121 with now the second game in a row with Joel Embiid back in the lineup. Both games, whether it's the Boston game or the Sixers game or the Charlotte Hornets game at home, went down to the wire and the Sixers came on top, which is very encouraging. VJ Edgecombe, the rookie drafted third pick in the last draft, has been showing some very good signs, and I think the Sixers definitely got something there with this player. This game specifically was really interesting, with Brandon Miller from the Charlotte Hornets getting hurt quite early in the game, which obviously let the Hornets down with a major player of the team. LaMelo Ball, however, was very good in this game, even though he had some flopping that I wasn't really a fan of, especially one close to the end of the game where it almost cost the game to the Sixers. I think these referees once again have to be better at refereeing these games, calling these games, and catching these flops and not taking victories away from teams. It was a resilient Sixers team once again who late in the game were down some points and found the energy, the resources to come back, especially with Joel Embiid on a minute restriction to begin the season, basically playing around 20 minutes a game right now. Scary moment sometimes when he falls. He almost got somebody fall on his knee again today. That left knee was really scary. I like the approach that the Sixers are taking with him, and having a strict minutes restriction on him and allowing him to get back into basketball shape, basketball habits, games, and all that. I think this will be good. It's a promising steps for the Sixers. I love the addition of Dominic Barlow. I love the addition of Jabari Walker. I love the fact that Quentin Grimes, even though he was not brought back at a long-term contract, he was really fantastic tonight. Got the dagger pretty much with 13 seconds left in the game. With the tie game, he shoots a very clutch three-point shot with 13 seconds left in the game from a pass of Tyrese Maxey being doubled on top of the key. It was an amazing play, which basically put the Sixers 3 points up, and the Sixers were able to seal the game afterwards with the Hornets missing a crucial 3-point shot to come back in the game, and then Tyrese Maxey going and having some clutch free throws out there also to seal the deal. Great performance from Andre Drummond as well, who was really good tonight with about 13 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals in this game, and that's really good. 7 points in all of this in 16 minutes. I think the approach, like I was saying, that the Sixers are having is really good. Having these backup centers in committee between Adem Bona and Andre Drummond with the Sixers, I'm really loving that. I'm loving the idea of always having somebody who can help with the rebounding side when Joel Embiid is on the court. It's always either Adem Bona, like we saw in the preseason, or Dominic Barlow, or Jabari Walker. I'm excited to see what guys like Trent Watford, when he comes back from injury, could bring to this roster as well. Same with Jared McCain. I already have an idea of what he can bring to the team. And Paul George also on his way back. It's really gonna be a deep team for the Sixers. I'm loving what they're showing us so far. A lot of young guys playing, a lot of athletic ability, and being able to run up and down the court. So I'm really loving that. The Sixers are 2-0. Joel Embiid also had a very good game after the first game where, he only had 4 points. He's also turning into a better passer, trusting his teammates a little bit more, letting Maxey and VJ lead the way. I'm really loving this approach by Nick Nurse and the Sixers organization, and I hope this continues. Another game is coming up pretty soon, which is going to be another very good test for the Sixers with the Orlando Magic and all the size and athletic ability out there also coming up. at the Xfinity Mobile Arena, as it is called nowadays. So I'm really happy for the Sixers, like I was saying, and I'm looking forward to the future, and hopefully these guys can be healthy this year. And I think if that is the case, that's a sleeper team that is going to be have to be dealt with. The Milwaukee Bucks, on the other end, also 2-0 in the beginning of the season, clear MVP contender already, or candidate rather, with Giannis Antetokounmpo already put in crazy numbers and playing amazing. Miles Turner also already contributing. The Bucks are 2-0 in this beginning of the season. Loving that for them. It's gonna just make the Eastern Conference more competitive with these teams. So I'm loving that. The New York Knicks also 2-0 in this beginning of the season. It's gonna be obviously a team to be reckoned with. And the Charlotte Hornets 1-1. Obviously, they beat the Brooklyn Nets in the opening game of the season, and then lost against the Sixers. But I think if Brandon Miller is not badly injured and it's just a temporary, like a short-term injury, it's going to be a team that the East will have to count with. I could see them going pretty deep, having a good record and making it to the playoffs if they stay healthy this season. But it's been an Achilles heel for them as well, between LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller, guys who can't really, obviously stay healthy, just like the Sixers, unfortunately. But let's pray for health for most of these players, just to get some very good games. I think the addition of College Sexton to this Hornets roster is going to be great for them. Ryan Kalkbrenner, the rookie that I got a chance to watch also tonight, is going to be good for them. He's not the most athletic guy, but is really sound on fundamentals. He's a very good rebounder and can also, finish around the rim on these little passes, drop backs, passes around the rim from all the guys that they have, whether it's Bridges, Melo, and his vision on the court and whatnot. So the Hornets would definitely be a team to look out for. The Miami Heat, as you already know, you always gotta count them in any season, just because of the way they they play, and Coach Spoelstra out there always getting the best out of his players. So they 1-1 right now. They got blown out a couple of games ago, and came back and won another one. So I'm loving that for them. The Raptors also, I think, will be. It's gonna be a lot of games where I heard Anthony Edwards talking about that when Minnesota played Portland earlier this week. It's gonna be a lot of these games where you think you could take the night off and you're still gonna have a win. These teams will fight for every game possible to win. So it's really just gonna better the product of the NBA. And I'm just loving it. The Raptors would also not be a cakewalk when you go to Toronto or you get them in your building. I love the competitive spirit. Brandon Ingram is already making a difference out there. Also, the Detroit Pistons, starting with the 1-1 record. Also, I'm expecting more from them. They're getting in the groove. Jaden Ivey, unfortunately, got hurt again and will be out for a couple of weeks. The Cleveland Cavaliers also started 1-1. I'm expecting them to be in the mix and go on a roll here, especially when they get Darius Garland back. But Donovan Mitchell is already going lights out. So I'm loving that for the Cavs. They will definitely be a contender in the East. The Wizards 1-1. Surprisingly, like I said, excuse me, nobody's just want to give games away right now. So even the Wizards are trying their best to be competitive and try to give some challenges to anybody that they play. The Atlanta Hawks, that I had very high expectations for, surprisingly start with the 1-2 record. I think it's just a matter of time. Also, I'm still expecting them to be in the mix in the East. It's just a very good, well-rounded roster, and I think once the connection and the games, the more games they play together, the better they're gonna become down the stretch. I believe under the leadership of Trae Young, obviously, and the addition of Kristaps Porzingis, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jalen Johnson, who's already there and is out there back from injury, Dyson Daniels, and all these guys. So I'm still expecting them to be in the mix. The Orlando Magic also starting with a 1-2 record, but I'm thinking would probably go and will be in the mix for the playoffs. I'm expecting them, as a matter of fact, to be in the playoffs as well. So a team to watch out. The Celtics and the Pacers, however, are two teams. More so the Pacers, more so the Celtics rather. Are still a pretty decent team, even though they have an 0-2 record right now. But it's not just gonna be a down year like I was expecting them to be. I don't think these guys are going for a tanking season, to be quite honest with you. It might happen, but with the way these guys are playing, and I'm seeing the effort that they're giving, and obviously they still got guys there. They still got Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Jaylen Brown. The addition of Anthony Simons is really good for them. They're losing games, but close games. The Sixers game was pretty close. It was a little bit harder when they played New York, but I think they still might be able to make it to the playoffs without Jason Tatum in that East. So let's not just say their season is completely out. I'm definitely not putting them in championship contention. My approach would have been just, try to just, coast through the season and hopefully not even make it to the playoffs and get a high draft pick. But I just don't think that's the nature of Joe Mazzulla, and I don't think that's the mindset of guys like Derek White and Jaylen Brown, who is definitely also trying to prove that he can be a number one option. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the Celtics actually do this season and how they approach it. The Indiana Pacers, I was expecting them to be competitive even without Tyrese Haliburton. They're 0-2 also, but guys like Benedict Mathurin, Pascal Siakam, Nembhard, Nesmith, they're still out there fighting. They got Jackson as a center now, who is also showing some good things in the beginning of the season. And Rick Carlisle team is always going to be competitive. They're always going to try their best to win games. It's going to be tough also, but it's not going to just be, we playing the Pacers, Tyrese is not there, Miles Turner left, we're going to beat them. I don't think that will be the case. So that would be a good year for them in terms of development, like I've been saying. But they're always going to be a tough out every night. I really think so. And when they get TJ McConnell back also, it's really going to be an interesting team to watch as well. I mean, the only team that I haven't had any expectations in the East from the beginning of the season, even before that, is obviously the Brooklyn Nets. They're 0-2 as expected. I think they're just going to be pretty bad again this year. And it's just a rebuild process out there. Just play the young guys and try to develop them and see what you got before you try to shift your roster and be more competitive. On the Western Conference side, and there's a lot to talk there about. I'm gonna start with two teams that I have as championship contenders in the West, in this crazy Western Conference, with the Houston Rockets and the Dallas Mavericks. Two teams that are very big, very good players in the front court, but unfortunately, with the injuries of Fred VanVleet in Houston and Kyrie Irving in Dallas, are really lacking some playmaking ability and true point guards, even though Kyrie is not really like a true point guard, but can handle the ball and run an offense. They're really missing that. And I think with Houston, they were thinking to begin with that Amin Thompson would be able to play in that role. But I think they will have to make a move by the trade deadline and bring in a point guard in there to help them, especially because Reed Shepherd is not truly like a point guard to me, or at least is still learning the position. He's more like shooting than setting the offense and playing off of his teammates and stuff like that. So I think a veteran point guard would be a good addition to this team right now, and maybe moving one of the forward guys that they have, whether it's Jabari Smith Jr. or Tyree Eason or whoever it is, or just straight off picks. But they will need a ball handler, somebody who can really come and set the offense and put guys like Şengün and Kevin Durant in better situations, rather than having Alperen Şengün posting people up from the three-point line. That just doesn't make any sense. And it's going to be tough in the playoffs, because you could see it already. Amin Thompson, when getting picked up full court, yes, he can blow by defenders and go get a basket, but his handling is a little iffy. His ball handling is a little iffy, and he can play the point guard position, but is not as experienced as a natural point guard, and that could be an issue for Houston in the playoffs if teams continue to just like hunt and harass this guy and get him to move off the ball or make some costly turnovers out there. So that's definitely something that Houston have to fix. I think they need a point guard, and it's the same thing with Dallas. But with Dallas, I think the issue here is Jason Kidd being a little stubborn. I heard him the first time after they drafted Cooper Flag that he was going to try to have him play point guard. But you brought D'Angelo Russell in from Brooklyn, I believe, last year or wherever he was. And D'Lo is still coming off the bench. I don't get the idea. I don't get the thought process of having Cooper Flag playing point guard right now. I think you're doing him a disservice. And I think guys like D'Lo, Jalen Hardy, and even Ryan Nembhard that they got on the two-way should be playing the point guard position by committee until Kyrie Irving comes back. Or if you're not satisfied with them, you're gonna have to also try to go get another guard, because right now Dallas is 0-2. They lost against Washington, which is crazy to think about, and the San Antonio Spurs in the beginning of this in the season opener as well. And it's the Western Conference where every game matters because it's such a crazy conference. So Dallas will have to get themselves together very quick, and I think they'll have to move Cooper Flag back to his original position, which is a small forward, in order for them to get back to some winning habits and try to build something really special out there, because I still believe in the roster when healthy, especially with all the size that they have in the front. But all these guys still need somebody to set the offense for them, and that's what they're lacking of right now. And I'll put this on Jason Kidd, because you have some point guards out there that you can try, rather than completely try to change Cooper Flag's position and put him as a point guard in his rookie year. I think if you want to do this, you do it maybe 2-3 years in, where it's like a project, rather than putting this type of pressure on him right now, where he's playing out of position and doesn't even have such a great ball handling skills out there. I think it's better to put him at his natural position and get him to settle more in the NBA. So these two teams need to get their stuff together when it comes to the point guard position, and I'm expecting the ownership and front office group, general managers, to figure it out. Nico Harrison, you already know what you're dealing with after trading Luka Doncic. You gotta figure that part out, or put pressure on Jason Kidd to play the guards that are out there, just to see what they have, at least until Kyrie Irving comes back. Oklahoma City, the Thunder are 3-0. Very more convincing win for the Thunder. The first two games of the season, they had to go to overtime, double overtime even against Houston in the opener, and overtime with the Pacers as well. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is already playing at an MVP level. Chet Holmgren is also really coming along, playing very well again. Lou Dort and Cason Wallace, all these guys are obviously putting the effort also in this mix. They're showing them championship mentality and experience, and I think when Jalen Williams comes back, it's just going to be a better team. He's currently hurt, so I'm expecting them just to continue playing well, even though those first two games were were a little challenging with them having to go all the way to overtime. But I'm expecting OKC to be in the mix. Championship contender, obviously very capable of winning the West again. The San Antonio Spurs, 2-0, one of the big surprises of the season. Victor Wembanyama is here and here to stay. The only thing, guys, that I think would stop this San Antonio team from being in the playoffs this year is Wembanyama getting hurt. If they're not hurt, I think they will be in the playoffs. This is a team that is playing very well right now. Wemby is going to be in contention for a lot of different titles if he stays healthy. Whether it's most improved player of the year, defensive player of the year, possibly MVP with the way he's playing and trying to assert more dominance by being more in the paint and be super aggressive. I really love how he played against the Dallas Mavericks with all the size that they have out there. The bully ball that he had, and he can mix it up and still play like a guard sometimes. It's just amazing what this kid is doing and accomplishing at that size. And they doing all of this without De'Aaron Fox, who is still hurt, and obviously Dylan Harper coming off the bench right now, but also is gonna get more acclimated in the league and is gonna provide them with the spark too. So I'm really loving what the Spurs have going on out there. I really think with De'Aaron Fox, they might be really 1 or 2 players away from a championship, and I'm thinking shooting like a very good, deadly shooter. And if they're able to get that, the Spurs might actually really move forward and be brought into championship contention conversation. So with the way Wemby is playing, it's gonna be a good thing to watch to see what the Spurs do by the trade deadline and if they're really buying into the possibility that they could be in contention if they add some pieces. They have everything that they need to do so, whether it's the players or the draft picks, to make a move by the trade deadline and really get into contention. So this is an exciting team that I'll be watching and see what Wemby can do and bring all these guys along with him, and where these guys San Antonio pretty much lands in this very crowded and tough Western Conference. Right before we even go there, because I want to specifically talk about that with Wemby. This man had one game of 40 points and 15 rebounds, and another game where he was supposed to have 10 blocks, but they took one away. It's crazy. It's really crazy, and the league gotta watch out for this kid. I think he really has the ability to be in the MVP conversation this year if he stays healthy. So that's what I wanted to point out there. The Golden State Warriors, another team where I love the fact that Steve Kerr is now playing Jonathan Kuminga more. He's actually starting him. I like how Kuminga is also playing and is developing a playmaking ability. He's more committed on the rebounding side and the defensive end of the floor. I'm loving that for him. I love the minutes that he's getting. The Warriors would always be in contention as long as Steph Curry stays healthy. And I have them as my sleepers in this Western Conference, especially with the addition of Al Horford. Yes, he's not going to play back-to-back, but you can see what he brings to this team when he's playing with, the little help that he brings on rebounding, but also him being able to stretch the floor as a big and shoot those threes. One thing that Steve Kerr would also have to do when he's not playing is playing that center position by committee. I think between Quentin Post and Trace Jackson Davis, I'm not sure why Kerr just suddenly stopped playing this guy after his rookie season. I think he needs to get more minutes because he has that ability to rebound the ball. He can also block some shots. And if you're not satisfied, I think the Warriors will have to go get another big to try to, have there to back up or start for Horford when he's not playing or when he's hurt or needs to be rested. But obviously with Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, and the cast that they have with, GP2, Moses Moody, and all these guys, it's an exciting group. I think they can really do good. They currently 2-1 with some very good wins against Denver, with Steph Curry already playing out of his mind. Might be in MVP conversation also pretty early in the season, along with Luka Doncic, obviously. It's a team to watch out for sure. The Grizzlies also 2-1. Ja Morant is trying his best to bring this team along and try to make a run with them. I love what he's doing out there. He's missing some guys, but Memphis will be a team to look out for because they always are. The Kings 1-1 right now, but not too many expectations from them. I don't have much expectations from them. The Jazz, however, which is a surprise, would also, I believe, them and the Trailblazers, where you might think anytime you played them, it's gonna be a night out, and I mean not a night out, but like a certified win. You will have to play ball. You will have to play ball because these guys also are trying to start, changing things around the franchise and getting wins, and we saw that with the Blazers when they played against Minnesota, and also when they beat Golden State, even though it was the second game of a back-to-back for the Warriors, but they trying and they got good players, and Drew Holiday is bringing a little bit of stability out there, and it's going to be a very interesting team when Damian Lillard comes back out there. The Jazz with Lauri Markkanen back in the lineup, Walker Kessler, and the young guys that they have out there, they're still gonna be bad, but don't just expect to beat them once you play them. Otherwise, you in for a very bad surprise. The Denver Nuggets, another team that I have high expectations for, started 1-1, but no worries about them, to be honest. I think it's just a very good, balanced, deep roster that is gonna find the groove, will be in the playoffs, and will be in contention for a championship. Nikola Jokic is already playing very good and already has one triple-double on the win that they had against Phoenix. The Lakers with Luka Doncic also playing out of his mind, especially without LeBron James hurt and having that sciatica right now. We're not sure when he's coming back, but Luka is trying his best. He's gonna need some help, especially from guys like DeAndre Ayton, Austin Reeves, and whoever else needs to come along and try to give him some help. Otherwise, it's gonna be a tough season for the Lakers. Luka might have some great numbers, but if other guys are not coming along, it's just going to be a long season for the Lakers. The Clippers surprisingly started 1-1, got literally blown out on the first game of the season, and I just didn't understand. It's almost like they weren't ready, and for a team that had that defensive identity last season, I was just shocked by how easily they gave up and just got the doors blown off in the first game of the season when they played the Utah Jazz, as a matter of fact. And it was just ridiculous, but they got it together, got the second win, and you have guys like James Harden, Kawhi Leonard already playing well, and we'll see where they go. I still love them. I still think they could be in contention also with the addition of John Collins, Brook Lopez, who's already showing what he can bring to this team with his shot blocking ability and his three-point shooting. It's still a team that I will have to watch out for in the West. The Timberwolves 1-1. I think Anthony Edwards, this roster after the season will have to be shifted a little bit and get some better fit for them out there. I believe Anthony Edwards will have to be playing at an MVP level for them to have any chance to be in contention. But I'm not gonna dismiss them yet. But they will be in my second tier in the West. The Phoenix Suns, which are in a semi rebuild out there. Devin Booker and Jalen Green currently hurt. Let's see when he comes back what they can do, but they're obviously not in championship contention. I have no expectations for them this year. I think making it to the playoffs will be a success, like I've said in the past. The Pelicans also in that second tier for me in the West. Playoffs run will be a success for them also. Hopefully Zion Williamson can stay healthy. He's been having some good games. Got once, I would call it a semi-dunk on Victor Wembanyama when they played them. He's having some good season. I think with Zion and his journey, the win here will be him being able to play consistently, just like Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, and these guys, and hopefully he can build off of that with guys like Jordan Poole, DeAndre Jordan that they actually got from the free agency lately, who can be that good veteran guy for the bigs, whether it's Quinn or Yves Missy and all these guys out there. So the Pelicans, no expectations per se also with them. Playoffs will be a win for them. So that's pretty much what I have for this episode, guys. Please continue to subscribe, share the videos, like them, and I will see you in the next episode. Ciao.